Hey guys, so today I am taking a break from making the rest of the sign videos. Basic information and crap. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about what I think about the signs, so I'm just going to ramble. And I was feeling inspired, so whatever. I'm really not a creative person. My YouTube videos are probably like the most creative thing I do. And I'm an Aquarius rising. My Gemini moon, I'm too scattered. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels lately, realizing how, people really know well that I don't get along with Leos very easily. But Leo risings, and me being an Aquarius rising, Leo risings make amazing YouTube channel videos. Leo rising and Virgo rising. Now, Leo and Virgo both lie within my 7th house. Virgo is intercepted. It's locked in my 7th house. And I like to think that that's how I portray myself, but I'm really scattered on YouTube. It's really obvious to me. I'm very self-conscious. I'm a Capricorn stellium. Like, we're very self-conscious. Come on. We see the things fairly. We're like the evolved form of Libra. Libra's about balance, so Capricorns are balanced. We're born balanced. We have that kind of confidence, shy confidence. But I want you guys to know that it's been over 15 years at the very least of how much I've been obsessively studying astrology since I was 7 or 8. But my presentation to get my information out isn't as adequate as some people would like. I'm assuming. I am very quick to see potential flaws in my presentation. I go back and forth from using big words to small words. It's definitely in my chart shows that I expect people to expect the same thing that I do. I want everyone to be on the same level as me, using all those words. To me, it's easy. I'm very verbal and very quick. I have Mercury over my sun. I'm just talking about myself right now, which is my Leo descendant, probably. It's my only time that I can get out and talk about myself. People look at me as egotistical, but I'm not at all. Like, my rising sign isn't at all. Or anything about my chart. I'm all about equality, and that's probably, it can tie into why I'm interested in astrology. With my strong Aquarius, it's definitely a factor. But today, I just wanted to tell you, kind of round up and summarize, like, the YouTube channels that I watch, and what I've noticed. So first of all, I've been watching Alyssa Sharp. I watched her a lot today. Her videos are very, very entertaining. I really love talking with Pisces rising people. Now, as an Aquarius rising, there might be a bit of a difference there. Now, like, Aquarius and Pisces are both understanding and loving, but there's an intelligence difference. So while I'm going to talk about, like, the people I watch on YouTube, I'm going to also mention the differences of intelligence between signs. Now, if you were to ask me to give a simple answer on intelligence, I would do that. It's definitely easy for me to tell you what signs I think are smartest. Of course, that's from my opinion, being a Capricorn stellium, Aquarius rising, Saturn conjunct my sun with Mercury conjunct my sun, Gemini moon, Jupiter in Cancer conjunct my Gemini moon. So you can see, I don't have that Libra in me at all. Libras probably see me as boring, which is understandable. I mean, I sit around and I read all the time. My Gemini moon makes me a lot less boring. I need to get out. Of course, my moon's in my 4th. Now I'm talking about myself a lot. But that's okay. I mean, I'm nearing my Saturn return, and I'm becoming a lot more comfortable in my life. Like, I'm not that near. I mean, I'm 25, but I can, it's weird because I'm very in tune with Saturn. And I notice things about other people's charts. Like, if Saturn is very, very weak, it can somehow affect intelligence, of course, if Mercury's involved. Mercury and the moon. The moon's your mind, so now let's talk about like different people I know and the astrologers that I watch on YouTube. Now I know for a fact that there's many astrologers that have Virgo rising, and like a lot. And I know so many Aries with Virgo rising that get into that field. And it seems interesting because I believe that an Aries sun, their first house is like very strong. I find with an Aries, you can tell they're an Aries because of how headstrong they are, but their rising sign really sticks out. They're like proud of that aspect of themselves. It's like whatever sun sign they have, their first house shines, and it's just really quick for them to show. Like there's so many Virgo rising Aries women, and they're all really interested in books and knowledge and very eloquent, and they're very judgmental. The thing is that they're humble about it. A Leo is not humble at all. And I don't think Leos are as intelligent when it comes to the smaller aspects. So Alyssa Sharp has a Pisces rising, which is the complete opposite, which is totally what makes her amazingly fun, because Virgo rising will have very informed videos, and you'll like nod along and agree with them. Pisces rising, I think, is capable of understanding and going with the flow. They totally soak up the energy around them, and there's no boundaries. With a Virgo rising, you expect a lot of boundaries between every little aspect of life. There has to be boundaries. There has to be a specific way to do everything, and my god, it can be annoying. But I mean, it really depends on like what planets and aspects too. With a strong Virgo rising and Earth signs in your chart, Earth planets, it would be just very materialistic and focused on money, cleanliness, organization. And the funny thing is that Virgo risings aren't very organized in their real life. They want to project that onto people or like show people that they are. But Leo's actually the OCD one. Leo's sun. Leo suns are very, very OCD. Organization, power, control. Virgos can laugh and have fun and like let loose every once in a while. They know there's a time for it, as long as it's within the time. But they'll humiliate themselves. They'll humble themselves, put themselves down. They'll say sorry. I realize I said that wrong. How can I fix myself? How can you fix yourself? Leos don't ask questions. They're just, I'm me, deal with it. They don't even say deal with it. They're just kind of like, I see Leo as like, kind of like, not using their mind. It's all about the heart. Like Cancers kind of come from that area, but Leos are more creative and expressive, and it's less to do with the head. Now, intelligence for the head, like heady, airy intelligence for intelligence itself. Less focused on like books or what they read, or like a Virgo will talk about experts and you'll hear a Virgo say, the doctor said this, I read this in a book. They might not say it like that, but you know that that's where they're coming from. Now a Libra, someone with Libra, if you were to ask me what the most intelligent sign is, I would have to say Libra. Definitely. And the thing is, they're so intelligent and so even-keeled in their heads, it's so crazy, and it's impossible to contain it, and it's just so objective, and it's like back and forth between pridefulness, and it's just so fickle, and I can understand why. If I was a Libra, I would be fickle too because of how their minds work. But no, Libras are the people with, a Libra rising will have a bookshelf in their house, and they'll have books, and they'll be proud of those bookshelves. But a Libra will be someone that actually uses those books, and they have like they've read all these books. They can tell you every detail about them. I find Libras are like that, but at the same time they have this like, people think they're hypocrites. Like that's the thing about air signs. People think air signs are hypocrites. Okay, so a Virgo might call a Libra a hypocrite because you do this. A Libra might casually dye their hair. They'll put streaks in it. They'll put green. They'll put blue. They'll put red and orange. And I can give you so many examples. All the famous Libra women. And Libra women also are the type of people to casually get drunk on one weekend, go to the bar, run outside, spit on the sidewalk, forget about it, go get a tattoo, a really like insignificant small tattoo that's just like spur of the moment. And sure, they might regret it later, but whatever. It's all light and airy. A Virgo might be jealous of that because Virgo's opposition is Pisces, which is being okay with being less physical and going with the flow. A Virgo is very, very scattered in their head. They don't like that, but like it's so obvious. But a Libra actually has structure. Like there's something in the middle of their heads where they kind of are able to differentiate between stuff. Like they feel like they're in the middle of everything. That's where they pride themselves. You might not think Libra has pride, but yeah, they do. They have more pride than an Aries. An Aries is selfish, doesn't think as much. A Libra deliberates and constantly thinks in their head. Aquarius is another sign that I think is very intelligent. If you would ask me those two signs, I also think Gemini is intelligent, but a Gemini rising will want to appear very intelligent, but to most other people that have more substance, you're going to notice that they are just going off the cuff. They're, you could say, pulling things out of their ass. That's the worst thing about Gemini rising. A Gemini itself is always learning. They're kind of humble in that way. A Sagittarius that's angry, which is the opposite of a Gemini, will think that they know everything, and they'll be very, very boisterous. Very angry, but they don't think they're angry because they don't get angry at someone. Like a Mars in Sagittarius, which is what I have, will just argue for the sake of intelligence, argue for the sake of philosophy. They won't be yelling at you, they're just thinking about stuff, like thinking about the big picture. And a Gemini is more trivial. Gemini is trivial and mundane. They'll think about very, very materialistic, earthy things because it's the sign after Taurus, so they are still focused on the physical world. So they'll think about like, what's the lifespan of a giraffe? And they'll know that. It's not necessarily the case. I know a lot of Geminis that are not very intelligent. Actually, a lot of Gemini sun signs aren't very intelligent. But they won't boast because they're always learning. Gemini suns take pride in learning. Always learning. You know, I think they're soaking up a lot more. My Gemini moon is very deep in my personality. I'm scattered, I'm easily bored. I know a lot of crap. I know a lot of stuff. I remember a lot of things and I want to remember them. It's so fascinating to me. Which is funny because my Capricorn and Sagittarius side is much more, okay, I have to go after this and do something with substance and find substance in my life. And Capricorns actually do ask bigger questions. They really, and you might not think this, you read about Capricorns and you think, we really do have a side that's like, eat well, go to sleep at the right time, go to work, and you'll live longer. Capricorns are all about longevity, but then Capricorns have a very, very, very deep mind that they don't really necessarily want to show you because it's not practical. And until they get to something that's practical in their head, they'll tell you. So it could be my Pluto in the 9th house in Scorpio, or my Aquarius rising, or my Gemini moon, or Sagittarius, Mars, but I've met many, many, many Capricorns that are deeply philosophical. Capricorns in conversation can go on forever and ever. Like, just me talking to the camera right now, which is still very, very weird. But that's what I think about that. So I mentioned Aries a little bit, but I'll go through the signs now. Aries is very smart. Very, very, very quick-minded. Not boring. You can have a conversation with them. You'll agree with them. You'll get along. You can tell that they're a bit stubborn about what they believe, and it can be pretty close-minded, but at the same time, they have studied. They're quick to study. They're good in school. They're the first to do things. Taurus are very intelligent, but they really don't care as much. Whatever is in their bubble, whatever's in their home, whatever is surrounding them, it's more focused on that. So a Taurus would focus would only really care about food and family and things like that. You know, similar to Cancer. But Tauruses are masters, and their expertise. They are determined. They start a job, it becomes their career, they make it a lifetime thing. You talk with them, and they will give you matter-of-fact information. I wouldn't ask a Taurus information or tell them anything, because they'll tell you you're wrong. They'll always tell you you're wrong. A Taurus will say you're wrong. I don't know, it's like an automatic defense mechanism. A Gemini is more scattered. Do you think Gemini is the sign about intelligence and quick wit? It's very, very shallow. A Taurus will tell you more information. Like a Gemini and a Taurus, you could have both working at a computer IT thing. I would trust the Taurus more, because the Gemini kind of does know that it only knows like the shallow bit and kind of like a little of everything. The Taurus would slowly, for like 5 years it might focus on one kind of computer, another 5 years to focus on another. It'll know everything. It'll have everything in its place. Taurus can be lazy when it comes to organizing their homes, but they will know where everything is. They'll know where everything is, I find. Okay, so Cancer is, sadly, does not get the best reputation. Cancer and Leos aren't known for intelligence. They're known for caring and good to be around, because they are emotional and passionate. So a Cancer would be very emotionally intelligent. Cancer Moon is, it's like, here's Gemini Moon. Everyone says Gemini Moon is very intelligent. I know that. I might be getting a little proud about it. Whatever. I have a Gemini Moon. It's obvious. I'm on another level than most people. And then Cancer Moon, I actually think is on a level higher. Because Gemini Moons will think about trivial information. A Cancer Moon will think about things that actually matter in life. And then a Leo, it's too self-centered and focused on it being generous. So a Leo, when it comes to intelligence, you know, I like Leo intelligence because they know their boundaries, I think. I think Leos are very focused on boundaries and who has what power, where the power lies. Leos are also a very long-lasting sign. When reality hits them, they'll realize, you know, I have to eat well, I have to do this to focus on my life. They'll focus on their family, they'll focus on what's close to home. Virgo is very, very, a lot of Virgo energy will give you focus on the body. They're very, very connected to their body. And their surroundings, it's less so about Taurus. So Virgo's kind of in between Capricorn and Taurus, because Taurus is all about the home and their bubble. And then Capricorn is about business. So Virgo is like business and health. It's a good balance, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying Virgos are balanced at all. Virgos are like the least balanced. Leo and Capricorn are pretty balanced. Capricorn a little more boring. But I think Leos are very balanced. Leo's it's very hard for me to grasp. So after that, I told you about Libra. Libras are very objective, very fickle though. I wouldn't necessarily listen to them. They don't really put their intelligence to use. They don't see it as important. They want to have a good time. Scorpio is emotional, very intense. It doesn't mean that you're going to see a Scorpio and they're going to be brooding in a corner. I think Scorpio has its stupid reputation. Scorpios are very loving to those around them. They are always on the lookout for people that might be bad for them. They're always suspicious. So I think Scorpio's good to have around, because you might have a Sagittarius or a Leo that is way too optimistic. Oh no, we can speed down the road, nothing bad's gonna happen. A Scorpio might automatically think of all the bad things that would happen, whereas a Sag and a Leo are fun and vibrant, but, you know, Sagittarius aren't known for the longevity in their lives. Their lives will be amazing when they are alive, and they'll be really philosophical. Scorpio's very philosophical too, but they look for the bad and they want to show the bad to everyone because they expect it. So Sag is very philosophical and very broad-minded. Sagittarius is a very beautiful romantic, not romantic, intellectually philosophical sign. They're always looking for the big picture. They're always learning. They might get stuck when their pride is attached to their intelligence, kind of like Aquarius, so they might get attached in that. A Capricorn knows its limits. It's humble in its head. It's very self-deprecating. A Sagittarius doesn't have deprecation. There's no boundaries in a Sagittarius personality or mind. So maybe a Sagittarius, Mercury or Mars or Moon. Usually you might see an interest in philosophy and religion and the university. I find a lot of more Geminis are into religion nowadays, and I think it's because a lot of people don't take religion as seriously. Sagittarius are intelligent about ethics. They think about what's ethical. What is the highest knowledge that I can think of to make this world better? It's very humanitarian. So I said a lot about Capricorn. Now Aquarius is very, very, very intelligent. And stupid at the same time. Because Aquarius is so in the head, so intellectual, so mind-focused, so above and beyond everyone. It's like the genius is on the border of the idiot. And I definitely see that for Aquarius. I see it in my rising sign, and my Venus, and my North Node. And my 11th house stellium. We are way too detached from humanity. Aquarius is not connected with hardly anything practical. It's very, very idealistic. I think when we get to a point well into the Aquarius age, the Aquarians and Aquarius rising, Aquarius everything, those are the people that are going to have more power, because they're going to finally see, this is the world that I've been waiting for, like in past lives, if you believe in that, which Aquariuses do. Aquarius does believe in past lives. It's like Aquarius can see things other people can't, because they connect so many dots all the time. They see so many ways of viewing the world, and it's all about respect. But once you get an Aquarius pissed off because equality isn't around, they can't handle it long, and that totally gets in their way of actually implementing anything in the world. And there's pride with their intelligence. It's not pride. They can get caught up in their mind. And it's all just like they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with the emotions. I just kind of want to stay above everything. And then they don't see themselves as above everything, but they really are. But they don't have that sense of ego that a Leo does, thank God. I mean, like, Aquarius can have a Jesus or God complex, sure. And you might see that as that, but Aquarius doesn't have that sense of pride. Aquarius has pride in humanity and pride in the mind. They have pride of intelligence. They have pride of the future, pride of idealism. And they see so clearly, and it's difficult because they know no one else can. So once they get past that, everything's okay. So it's good to kind of have earth and air in your chart to balance out, so you can actually take those thoughts and put them into practice, because, just too much earth, people think that just a lot of earth signs are going to live their lives very well and very efficiently. That's not true. Earth is really kind of stupid and dumb and focused on food way too much. And I'm not saying they want to eat a lot. A Leo will eat a lot. Anyway, I'm going on and on. But okay, the next sign is Pisces. Now, Albert Einstein was a Pisces. Pisces actually are extremely intelligent, but they lack a lot of boundaries, even in their minds. So from one day to the next, from 1 hour to the next, from one crying, laughing, changing your personality, it's way more duplicitous than Gemini. It's not as annoying as Gemini because it's not back and forth. It's all over the place. It's way different than Virgo, because Virgos want to take chaos and turn it into that. A Pisces will take organization and turn it into chaos. And it'll just get way too confusing. A Pisces actually does, I don't want to say they see the world for what it is, because a Pisces feels the world for what it is. They know everything, really, but then they don't. So give a Pisces a little bit of pride and ego and encouragement, but not too much, because a Pisces is very prideful. You might not think that, but I completely agree. I think Pisces is very, very, very prideful. And once they start thinking something about themselves, they're like, am I that way? Okay, yeah, I am. You're right, I can do that. Okay, that's me. But it won't stick. Unless, like, a Pisces becomes what it's in. Pisces will live in a house, and if the house is surrounded by a certain sign, that the Pisces will adapt to that. And that's the Pisces problem. And it's interesting because you can see this with astrologers, you can see this with people that you're around, your friends and family. You can find an astrologer that fits your own sense really well. Like, look at their chart and see if it goes well with yours. See what makes them able to do what they do. I don't want to put anyone on a pedestal, but I know Alyssa Sharp's chart very well, and I really think Neptune on the midheaven is very good. Of course, they say it can be deceptive, but Neptune is the planet of disillusionment. So Neptune shows us the truth, because Pisces wants to escape reality, but then Neptune kind of brings us the truth. And it can be in a harsh, intense way that Pisces are the only ones that can handle after they're ready. And then Uranus. Uranus is a very intelligent planet too, because my sister has Uranus on the... I have a strong Uranus family, and crazy things might happen out of the blue. Someone might cry all of a sudden. It's not unemotional. It's just unexpected for humanity. So, and it can be an amazing, great thing on one hand, and then horrible on the other, because there can be a lot of death. But Uranus is so impersonal, and it's just intense like that. Now, what would make... Let's go backwards through the planets. Saturn would make someone more deliberate. I really, really, really like Saturn. I think Saturn on a planet perfects it. It ripens it. It takes whatever makes a diamond, charcoal or something, and it squeezes it. It squeezes the life out of whatever it touches, and it crystallizes everything. It's kind of like putting glasses on someone. It might give you a migraine, but because your head's getting used to it, but then if you before that didn't see the world really clearly, you'll see it really clearly after Saturn. And I think the planets after Saturn, the other planets, perfect that, because Saturn shows us reality. And the problem with people that don't have Saturn in their lives, that haven't accepted it, they think reality is a bad thing. And it's that word, that reality. And I think intelligence and reality are very interconnected. You might think Jupiter is a teacher. It is very much a teacher. It'll teach you abundance of knowledge. It's just very, very unadulterated knowledge. It's not filtered. To filter it, you need Saturn or Mercury to kind of look at the details. And Mars just gives us passion to go towards something. So Mars will just be the kind of thing that might say, hey, do this. Mars in the third house might say, it might give you problems in school. But then Mars will say, work harder at school, work harder, learn how to speak better, learn how to write better, and you'll want to. And then Mars in the ninth will push you to go to university. You'll have a difficult university life, but you'll want to push yourself forward. You'll be proud of pushing yourself forward. So there's all these things that contribute to intelligence. If Mars is in a house that isn't very connected with intelligence and more emotions, you might see someone that's more emotionally invested in their lives. So Mars in the fourth house may have difficulty with their growing up and their parents, but then they'll become amazing parents as they're older because they take pride in their house, and their fourth house matters. Someone with the 10th house may appear very, very knowledgeable and authoritarian at their work, which is a very good thing. And then Venus brings balance because it's the opposite of Mars. So Venus brings peace and And that can have a kind of intelligence too. Because you might see someone with a strong Venus that's just not knows how to pick their battles. And their first impression is to be more passive than a Martian. So passive aggressiveness may be the negative quality, but someone with a more balanced and fair mind and personality, just more loving, because that's a smart thing to do. Sometimes you want to go with the flow and just kind of accept harmony, and that's what everyone wants in their lives anyway. That's what Martians want to protect. That's what Mars wants to protect. So you might see a Martian as being intelligent because they're willing to speak up, and then a Libra or someone with Venus on their sun or Venus on their ascendant may not be willing to do that unless Mars is strong. So before that, Mercury is definitely one of the most obvious intelligence planets that contribute, especially communication. With Mercury on my sun, I'm very, very, very eloquent. A lot of people aren't. And with my Saturn there, I can be very clear-cut, straightforward, to the point. No emotion attached. So Mercury gives us a good sense of communication. So all that knowledge is able to come out with a good aspected Mercury. Now sure, Mercury is right next to my Saturn, which made me, for the first 22 years of my life, not willing to speak up about anything, because I felt like nothing I had to say, no matter how smart I knew it was willing to be put to words. And it makes you cut out a lot of bullcrap in your head. So Saturn and Mercury are very, very detail focused because it makes you aware of what you want to say, how you want to say it, what details you want to add, what you want to cut out. The sun itself is not very intelligent. I think the sun itself, Leo's ruled by the sun, which is the opposite of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about intelligence. Leo is all about expression, pride. So the sun would be creatively intelligent. So someone with a strong sun would be very creative and passionate about that. And yeah, so Saturn would make your sun a bit weaker. So if you had Saturn over the sun, you will be selective. You will be harsh on yourself. If someone's Saturn's on your sun in synastry, if there's a very strong sun person, they'll be attracted to a Saturn person for the most part because it's the opposite of Saturn and the sun. But the sun on the Saturn and another person will want to run away from each other because the Saturn is, especially if the Saturn is activated, will want to control the sun. And someone with a sun that isn't used to control in their life with a weak Saturn will run away and say, I don't want this, like what the hell is wrong with you? And then someone like me who was born with the Saturn on the sun will be more deliberate about how they speak. But I have people in my life, and the reason why I think I might actually do videos about people born with their natal charts with the sun conjunct planets. Because I have people in my life surrounding me. I have people with sun only conjunct Mercury, people with sun only conjunct Venus, people with sun only conjunct Mars, very conjunct, right on top of their suns. For all these planets, I have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I have all the planets of people I know. And it comes out in their personality. And then that is when you start to realize, okay, astrology is real. And it shows what you take pride in. So someone could be very intelligent, very, very intelligent, but they don't care. And that might be a Leo. Because, in a past life, if you believe in that, they may have been an Aquarius or a Gemini. And in this life, they want to express themselves. They don't care. It's about being vulnerable. The sun itself is so vulnerable on its own. Leo is so vulnerable. Leo is just able to express itself. So then you put a planet on top of that expression, and that's what they end up wanting to be proud of, wanting to express. Then it can cause issues with other people. Because a Mars will be confrontational. Mars conjunct Sun. A Venus conjunct Sun will be passive-aggressive, most likely. A Mercury conjunct the Sun will be closed-minded, most likely, but very intelligent, very, very eloquent. what they're speaking. Neptune conjunct the Sun will not want to face reality. They see the beauty in creating your own world and being imaginative and very sensitive and caring and wanting to take care of people that have issues. Saturn conjunct the Sun, like me, will be very harsh to the core, really. You won't see it in me. If your Sun is an air sign like me, I might look really cute, but never underestimate me, ever. There's my Saturn talking. I tried to express it as much as I could. This video is getting very long, but I'm feeling at a point in my life where I don't care. And I know, because I have Saturn on the Sun, I'm going to get a lot of slack for it. And then my friend has Venus conjunct the Sun, so he just loves beauty. I already said they're passive-aggressive. Shit. Jupiter conjunct the Sun is naive. Let's just cut to the chase. And they can be very optimistic, though, and highly intelligent, all about peace and humanitarianism. I know quite a lot of vegetarians, strong Jupiters. Seriously, though, I really want people to look up vegetarian people's charts, because I think Jupiter in the first house, or Jupiter conjunct the Sun, or fiery planets, make vegetarian, and it makes you passionate about that. But then Jupiter will make you less judgmental and in your face. Mars would make someone more, you should be vegetarian because of this, or you should not be vegetarian because of this. And very, very just kind of blunt and fucking right in your face. Jupiter and Sagittarius and Virgo are more mind-focused, so that they'll tell you, okay, these are the pros, these are the cons, but you do what you want, okay? Libra won't be able to make up its mind, so a lot of Libras are vegan and vegetarian, but like it may take them a long time because they love food that tastes good. They love pleasant things and not thinking too much, because, they go back and forth in their heads. So, I just did a video this long about talking about intelligence. So don't watch videos of people that aren't willing to take into account different kinds of intelligences or different kinds of, expression, because I'm just tired of bullshit, and you have to take into account different types of people. I just started a job that, to be a good worker at this place, well, I think any place, you have to be fair-minded. You have to be someone that is pleasant and equal, willing to be equal and fair-minded. I work with people that are mentally and physically disabled and extremely different in their outlook and extremely different personally, and I have already connected with them on such an intense level. And if you can't find that kind of connection, you shouldn't be working at these places, and you shouldn't be into astrology. I'm sorry, I've been saying this a lot recently, but people that are prideful and single-minded and not willing to go into depth about these kind of issues about differences and equality, then don't get into astrology. Don't get into any profession that would be better off if someone was more passionate about what they did. Someone that was more considerate. That's a word I use a lot to describe a lot of other people. You're inconsiderate. You don't consider a lot of things. That's totally probably the biggest fault in me, because I have to really learn how to be humble. Anyway, so next up is my video on Virgo and Libra, and I might start videos about Sun conjunct the planets, because I really think that's a good idea. My Gemini moon talking to itself? I got a good idea there.